at 7. We're almost there. This one I love. I hear this 2-3 times a month. We want the best damn site in our industry, and Thursday afternoon. A business-to-business client. A business-to-business client in a very strict vertical niche had the most amazing opportunity to really make a difference online. And their CEO said in the annual report, we are going to be world dominating in our field, and we're going to do this by having the best online presence. That he even knew a phrase like online presence. It's amazing. This is somebody whose secretary prints out his email so that you can read it. We jumped through so many hoops. I can't even remember all the gory details of this, but we went on and on. We did a startup workshop, and everybody on the middle manager level up to people who were almost C-levels, they were on board. They understood it. But see, these are all the guys who are, and women who are, you know, in their mid-30s. They've grown up with the internet. They're your age. They understand how these things work. And then the people who are actually making the decisions, people who are my age, are dumb as dirt. It's very difficult to get them to understand. And they think that design is a question of just, glue on some colors and gussy it up and, make the text bigger, smaller, pinker, whatever. Design in our industry is not how it looks. Design is the function, at least if we're working in interactive media. That is the concept. It's an incredibly important part of the design process that we think in terms of the strategy. What are the business goals? What are the business metrics? The information architecture. Also the visual design, incredibly important, but it doesn't stand alone. And a lot of these CEOs would probably be better off just going to Dotster.com and downloading some skin for $62. They're very good skins. They work. For an extra $10, you can get Flash. Dotster.com / really ugly template. Since they generally don't understand that it takes time, and they certainly don't understand that it actually costs them money, one of the things you can try to do is put this in a familiar perspective. Say, right, well, you've got a 40-page annual report, and you just paid 100,000 euros for this, and it took you 3 months to complete. Sound about right? So now we're going to do a 200-page brochure with interactivity. Yeah, it's not real. It's just, it's just on a screen. We don't have to print anything. Try to put it in perspective. It doesn't always work, but if you say, look, you paid 100,000 euros for your damn annual report, can you give us, 30,000 euros so that we can do the stuff that we're good at? Oh, I don't know, maybe. All right. Show people how a development process works. If there's anything that senior management does appreciate, it's a good process that's well thought out. This is our process. It looks like everybody else's process. The only difference between what we have on the FapDuck site and what everybody else has is that our first phase is allocating. We think it's incredibly important to talk through what do you have in terms of time, human resources, and money to make this work. This goes back to the social media thing again. If people don't have the resources allocated, then there's no point in going on with the project. If you have a buy-in and they say, look, this is what it costs, great. Just imagine, it's like in the advertising industry, the marketing people were always afraid to say to the agency how much they had. Well, we got 200,000 euros for this project, and then the advertising agency goes home and says, we're going to use every penny of this. This is the way marketing people think, and this is still sticking in our industry. And so turn it around and think like, if out and buy a used car, the first thing the salesman is going to ask you, well, so how much were you thinking of spending? This is not an unreasonable question. Are you going to buy yourself a late model Mercedes or a Trabant? 601 Limousine. In Gletscherblau. I had one. It was great. Okay, and then see if there's some kind of an internal process that they're working on, Kaizen or something else that they've stolen from Toyota. And certainly the Muda, Muri, and Mura lean process is one that we hear a lot about these days. And for those of you who are not familiar with it, Muda means elimination of fluctuation, so you have uniform quality. Muri is eliminating unreasonable work, which means we need to plan things. And Mura is the reactive elimination of causes. So people can't fill out the form and then fix the form, figure out what needs to be done so that these things work. So anyway, reading a little bit about lean is not a bad thing to do. And this is again something that senior managers, the people who are signing off on the checks, do respond to. There is a process to keep things on track, on time, on budget, that you actually know what you're doing, and that you know enough about their business that you can speak sensibly with them.